And we're back, baby. More propaganda wars. I am your host, David Taylor. And as usual, like, share, subscribe. For more propaganda wars, I came across this this compilation. Remember when President Biden was in office? Remember all the gaslighting they did? Hey, put your favorite gaslighting thing that they did to you down in the comment section. Tell us about your favorite gaslighting moment of the Biden administration. Check this out.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
President Biden has a photographic memory. His understanding and mastery of a complicated geopolitical situation is remarkable.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
I was sitting, 2 feet from him across the table, and he was, intense.
Have trouble walking sometimes? Yeah, so did FDR. He wanted GD war.
But he's totally focused. He's very sharp.
They say he's sharp in meetings and so on.
Very lucid, very well informed. Biden is stately, and he comes with gravitas. There hasn't been, as far as I know, a single claim that Biden made a mistake.
Ageism is an issue. Americans have a rich history of holding people's physical characteristics against them. Okay, you can ask African Americans.
He's older. That doesn't mean that he is unfit, and there's a lot of ageism there.
Now, this age attack, this obsession by the right.
Joe Biden may not be able to speak for himself the way that he used to.
They want to think to take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about, and that's him lying around.
I think people should be speaking up for Joe Biden.
Americans and reporters in the media are just judging him by a physical appearance, and it's horribly unfair. Age is an asset.
He showed exactly how with it he is.
The flip side of this coin is that he has a tremendous amount of wisdom and experience.
Have you heard any concerns from anyone who has met with President Biden about him seeming a little slower?
No.
More wild speculation from a bunch of people who have probably never been in a room with Joe Biden and certainly don't have medical degrees that I'm aware of.
You don't get paid for performance to be president. The job is not a job of endurance. I don't see Donald Trump out bike riding like Joe Biden.
It's the Hillary's email. All they have is that he's old.
He can clear a dementia bar, and that's probably a win.
The media are not fair, and they're getting less and less fair, and things are frightening. You have Wall Street Journal running a horribly sourced piece saying that Biden is unfit.
Dubious Wall Street Journal report about the president's acuity.
Shoddy story by the Wall Street Journal questioning Biden's mental fitness.
Wall Street Journal story had a lot of flaws, as you said. But Sinclair, they didn't do any original reporting. They didn't follow up. They didn't do any work.
The hero of today is Hirsch Goldberg Poland, and is still, he is not here with us, but he's still being held by Hamas.
But a huge part of the Mueller report talks about Russian disinformation tactics. And one of the themes this election cycle is that Joe Biden is too old to lead. And so everyone is seizing upon this. And it is a classic disinformation tactic. And I think the best thing that we can do is to prepare the American people for this false narrative.
You gotta laugh, okay? Listen, you gotta laugh, because if you don't, it is extremely infuriating to look back and see all of the gaslighting they did to us, all of the lies they said to us. Who was that? That very first reporter, the Morning Joe. That's right, Morning Joe. He actually said that. If you don't, this is the truth, and F you if you don't like it. He lied to your face, and there's still people who believe him. They gaslit us so hard. They lied through their teeth. Joe Biden looking around like he's lost in space, can't get off a stage. And Jen Penske, that propagandist, nasty communist. I'm telling you, MSNBC should be considered a terrorist organization with all of the lies and all of the propaganda that they push out. All of it was propaganda, and this is the war against this propaganda. This is the war against this bull that they've been pushing on us for at least the last 4 years. But let's be real. We know it's been far longer. They have just now failed. You ever heard that old, see, I have a theory, okay? Here's my theory. You ever hear that old saying, I'm probably going to butcher it, okay? But it's something like, hard times make strong men create good times create weak people create bad times, and it's like a cycle, right? It's like a cycle. So I have this theory that there are these group of people, you can call them the Illuminati, you can call them the New World Order, you can call them whatever you want, but they are basically in this cycle that they've been doing. They have this game plan and this game book, and they've been doing it over and over and over. And finally, they got too strong, which made them create weak people. And now the people who are in charge of this Illuminati, New World Order confarction, whatever that is. I think I'm making up new words. Right on. So this confarction, I think that they're incompetent. That's why they missed. That's why they didn't hit Trump. That's why they couldn't stop President Trump. They are at the end of their stages. They're at this incompetent stage where even though they have the playbook, even though they have all the mystic answers, they themselves are lazy, they're decadent, you know what I mean? They have indulged in the very cage, because I kind of think of this society as a cage, but they've indulged in the very cage that they have created. They probably eat the poison food that they feed us. They probably drink the poison alcohol that they allow us to drink. They have become decadent, and now, with their incompetence, they have begun falling apart. And we're in a rare moment in human history. I wish I was 10 years younger, but I'm happy just to be here, just to see and witness the fall of this cabal. This is the beginning of the fall of the cabal. This cabal who has been controlling our government, our political system, they can't fight against this outlier. President Trump is an anomaly that they can't fight against. He can't be bought. He can't be bribed. He is a patriot, and he loves America. A man who knows value in the country he resides, a patriotic man, a man who has duty to service, and a man who is godly. That is the most lethal weapon in the universe. Do you know the CIA, one of their criteria that they used to like, I don't know about anymore because they're all become a bunch of wokies, but one of the greatest criteria that they used to look for when trying to find a CIA asset isn't just patriotism to your country, but it was also some kind of faith. That's why a lot of these, as weird as it sounds, a lot of these high assassins, these CIA operatives, a lot of them are really hardcore Christian. It's because when and a lot of the you'll find a lot of scout snipers are hardcore religious. You'll find a lot of special forces that are very religious, and the reason why there's I mean, I don't know the reason why they're religious. Of course, that's an individual choice. But what I'm saying is the reason why they look into these people is because that faith, that knowledge of God, that connection pulls you through the darkest of hours and the nastiest of situations. You can be getting shot at, getting blown up. But you got faith that God is protecting you, and you got faith that your country has your back. You are a lethal fighting machine. So, all I can say is thank God for President Trump, man. That's it. So, thank you very much. I know I went on a little bit of a rant, but like, share, subscribe. No, wait, you know what? I got more to say. They gaslit us really freaking hard. They told us he was competent, that he was sharp, that he had it all together when it was very obvious that he didn't. Remember deep fakes? Remember, oh, that's a deep fake. Biden really didn't fall over on his bicycle. That's a deep fake. And F you if you don't like it. And everybody believed it. Well, not everybody, of course. Anybody with common sense did not. So that counts out literally the vast majority of the current Democratic Party. But anybody who paid attention, but that's the problem, is most people can't pay attention. Most people have jobs. Most people have to work 8 hours, sleep 8 hours. That's 16 hours. Let's say a good 3 hours for body maintenance, food, exercise, pooping. 16, 17, 18, 19. That's 19 hours out of 24 hours. So that's why propaganda is so important to combat, because they will throw it out there like a grenade. He's competent, and F you if you don't believe it. He's the sharpest. This version of Biden, this version, like there are other versions. Don't get me into the cloning thing. This version of Biden. So let's be, and so what happens is they throw all of this propaganda out at a lightning rate, at a major, and they fund it, and it's everywhere. And somebody who only has 5 hours a day to do whatever they want, that doesn't include having a job, going to sleep, and pooping. Although now you can watch the internet while you poop. But you basically have about 5 hours, 4 hours. And who the heck is going to, there are very few people, except for nerds like us, who are going to deep dive into stuff. And that's why all of that is so effective. Everybody's so busy, and then the propaganda seeps in, and they're like, well, it said it. And then the whole news cycle moves on, and nobody goes back to correct it. Nobody goes back and discusses it. So it becomes kind of a fact. Just like that Russia narrative, there's still people who don't realize that the whole Russiagate scandal was literally created by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. They still whine and complain about Russia, Russia, Russia. So don't let people gaslight you. I know it's hard, but you got to pay attention. Look at it, see it. Don't, just because they tell you something doesn't mean it's fact. Look at it. Kind of reminds me, I don't know if I've said this before on this podcast, but there's one of my, I'm a kind of a Trekkie, and I love Star Trek, and one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek is this episode where Captain Picard, of course I'm a Next Generation kind of guy, Captain Picard gets caught by the Cardassians, another alien species, and he's being interrogated, and Riker and everybody are negotiating his release. But the captor is mentally torturing Captain Picard. And there are only 3 lights, and all his captor wants him to do is say, there are 4 lights. So there's this whole back and forth, and him suffering, not eating, getting shocked. And all he has to do is tell his captor that there are 4 lights and not 3. To lie. And that is a very real thing. If somebody can get you to speak lies, to go counter to what you can see, what you can smell, what you can hear, they can control what you think. It was about controlling Captain Picard's thoughts. It's about being able to control his very surroundings by adding another light. Then what else could they do to him? They can add, they can subtract, and they can divide. So no more gaslighting. Thank God the gaslighting is over. The only gaslighting we've got now to deal with is still the current lefty BS propaganda machine. But together, we are going to defeat that leftist communist propaganda machine. So like, share, and subscribe for more propaganda wars. And I'm out of here, baby. Peace.